Hey, welcome to TokuTalkers. Today we're talking Ultraman Omega Episode 4 and GoZyuger Episode 23. I'm one of your fantastic hosts, Buster. With me is my wonderful co-host, Wyatt. And yay, we're here to talk some Toku once again.
Pretty good episodes this week.
Yeah, I
That's my
really like the Omega episode, I guess to start off with
mhm.
that one.
Yeah.
Um,
It's Omega. It's been a pretty chill time so far. It's not nothing has really like blown us away. I like a lot of about it, but for the most part, it's not it's just like still in the beginning of the show. It's still like getting us used to the characters in the world. But I think I'm definitely like really gelling with its pace, and I think that this episode sort of you know, uh, kind of dug into some stuff that I liked about the previous episode a bit more, and was, just able to like bring a character like Kosei a little bit further along on his character journey.
yeah, because this is a lot by the law, because it's giving me this because you haven't seen Ultraman Ruby yet, but a lot of the
Well, I've
same,
seen a
like.
little bit of Rube. I've seen like three or four. I've seen about as much Rube as I've seen of this. So,
Alright, yeah. Well, having the full picture of Rube, like I'm get like no, and knowing that a lot of the same directors and creative staff is behind this show, I do
mhm.
see kind of like, oh, this is very similar paced where it's like right now, especially in the beginning where it's like right now it's not really focused on like individual episodes, like the kaiju's are not an afterthought, but like more about like a side piece to like these character focused journeys,
Right.
and I think that's a very unique way to do an Ultraman show. Um,
Yeah.
Because
Like
usually I expect the sci-fi concepts to be like the main like headliner of an episode, but this show's really focusing on the characters, which like I think either or is like fine. Like it just depends on
yeah.
whatever the show is,
Yeah,
and I think
for yeah, go ahead.
it's excelling at what it wants to do.
For me, the last show I watched was Tiga, and that had like every episode basically was like something's going on, and the guy's got to go investigate. Like so, the plot of the episode was contingent on whatever the monster or thing of the episode was going to be. Whereas it feels kind of more incidental here, which I could see some people finding that as like a problem. Maybe it's not as coherent, but I like that pacing quite a bit because I definitely appreciate character focused stories more than like plot or problem of the week kind of stories. I like things where it's like, oh, the drama of the episode evolves organically from interactions between characters. And yeah, I like that. And just in general, like I think that Kosei can be, he's a little bit of a mugging at the screen, kind of hot-headed character from what we know so far. So giving him a more like relaxed episode, giving him sort of like a father figure esque character that sort of comes into his life and slows things down and lets him like think through things was a really nice touch. Similar to GoZyuger, both of them have like landlords that are nice people. That's not reality.
Yeah, I was
But
about to
that's
say.
a. I'm joke. Oh, I'm not joking that much actually. But yeah,
Landlord. I
but
mean,
yeah, I
hey,
really like the monster in
it's
this
a kid
episode
show.
too.
You gotta give them the hope. You gotta give them
Yeah,
the hope.
yeah. The
The
monster's
monster
really
is really
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Skeksis from Dark Crystal.
Yeah, I
That's
could see
like
some Dark Crystal vibes. And
yeah, just like a gnarly bird with teeth, and
yeah.
like the claws and everything.
We also get Omega's technically first power up of the show,
Hmm.
where it's like he gets to combine with Rekiness, and he
Yeah,
gets to like get the little like
Monster
Agito
Hunter.
style like armor, where
Yeah, he
it's
gets he gets like the great sword from Monster Hunter and like the dragon shoulder arm
yeah.
thing. And yeah, it's very similar to Agito, like you said, where his form changes are more just like, oh, I get a cool new weapon rather
Yeah, I
than
mean, like ultimately, like the last series also kind of had armor stuff, but it was more like this is like a full blown like my entire body's covered with armor. It's just like an
mm,
extra piece to add to my body. Where it's like this is a bit even more low key than this. This is just like a few pieces you put on. It's
yeah.
not really like a because like a lot of Ultramans like when they form change, it's just their whole. It's like you basically need a new suit for it. But this is just like I like the armor stuff. I think a bit more.
So
It just
from a toy perspective, does the Reckiness toy like I know it turns into the sword, but does it become the armor? Because
I
it looked
don't.
like
I think.
it looked like it entirely became the sword, just
I
the
think
sword, and then the
yeah, because
armor just
from
like.
what I understand, the Wreckiness toy, if you want like the toy kaiju, like the DX toy
Mhm.
kaiju, it just turns into the sword, and then it's like the like if you buy like the figure, not the figure arts. I think figure arts is weird with armor, but like if
Mm.
you just buy like the regular Ultra Action, it's like there's gonna be pieces to like do the form changes on your own.
Okay, cool.
Um, which is pretty interesting.
Mhm.
I do like the I do like the sword design, and like it's not as clean looking as other Ultraman armors have been like in the last 10 years, but it's like it's I still like the armored
Yeah.
look, and it's
Like I said, it reminds me of Monster Hunter. It has that kind of like, oh, we're just like taking off parts of an animal and turning it into
yeah,
armor kind of look to it that I think is pretty cool. So, and I think that that makes sense, especially because like Wilds just came out this year.
yeah.
So,
Monster Hunter on the brain.
yeah, yeah. So, and it is very popular in Japan. So there's probably kids who
Yeah, there was
play it
like
or watch their older brother play it or whatever, and they're like, "Whoa, that's cool. It's like that."
was Monster
So,
Hunter played in a tokusatsu before? Because I know
no,
Tekken
I don't think so
has.
because they usually do like Bandai Namco things
Oh,
where
yeah,
it's like,
God Eater. It was God Eater. Okay,
yeah,
God.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was thinking, I
that's
was like,
yeah,
did
yeah,
Pure Major
yeah.
had Monster
There
Hunter?
was
No, it had God Eater. No.
what was there was a show where they were playing competitive God Eater. I can't remember. It might have been Xaid.
No, it was Kira
Uh,
Major. I
okay,
remember
okay,
this.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, the Yellow Ranger. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's funny. God Eater's neat. I need to like play more of it, but it's like
mm,
I played a bit of it on the original PSP, and it was like, this is a
yeah.
fine game.
I played a
But
bit of it on the Vita, so
yeah, I gotta use my Vita more. I have a hacked Vita. I need to like
yeah. My
figure out.
Vita's it's right here in my hand right now because it's on my computer desk for some reason. So
Yeah, it
everybody at
happens.
home, like I'm doing prop comedy in an audio, format here. So
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, good episode. I mean, I also just like I appreciate we get a little more character conflict of Kosei and
yeah,
Sotaro. Like
hmm
like I mean they've been conflicting a bit, but now they had like a big like oh like they get. I mean, one of it's like
yeah,
kind of that one side. It's I know it's supposed to be like a fish out of water thing where Sotaro doesn't know what's going on, but it's like that's kind of relatable. Where it's like
yeah,
sometimes like people just don't really explain why they're upset, and it's just that communication that's
yeah. I
like
liked it at the end when you know, Kosei apologizes to him, like, "Hey, sorry for flipping out or being so bitter towards you." And instead of being like, "What? I didn't notice," like instead of like playing it as a joke or like of how clueless he is or something like that, or even him saying like, don't worry about it." He's like, "I was really happy when you showed up. Like, I was really
yeah.
relieved." I was like, "Oh, that's sweet," you know.
Yeah,
So
this is a nice episode. Omega, getting into the groove still, but I think we're in the like this is a good show territory. Like
yeah, it is.
confidently
Yeah, it's
say it.
been pretty solid so far. Nothing, no major complaints. A lot of room for it to grow. A lot of potential. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's okay. We still
optimistic
got 20
with the show.
episodes left, so
Yep.
yeah. All right, want to talk about some Go Zooger?
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah, this one's episode 23, The Lonely Star Awakened Wolf.
Mm,
Oh boy, oh that was a I like this one a lot.
yes, this is one of my favorites that they've done so far. Uh like I can't necessarily say my number one favorite because the number one favorite, but because there's so many good episodes that I'd have to like go back. But if I would be shocked if it wasn't in my top five. Uh, like if by the time that the show is over, just because usually these like summer epic like we get a giant new robot episodes are usually really good. For Sentai, they like put all their sauce into this, but this had the extra oomph of like, furthering a lot of like character stuff from so many different angles,
Yeah, and technically the
including the
end of the
villains.
Shinkenger arc, which has been going on all month.
Like,
We
yeah,
spent
for
an
like four
entire
episodes.
month on Shinkenger tributes, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, which I love that. I
Yeah,
like it when they spend a little bit of extra. It isn't just like one episode or two episodes or whatever with the Universe Warrior. They spend like a little bit more time with it, which is why I'm fine that they just sacrificed the Go Busters one to
Hey,
the
like
void.
as a guy who clearly likes Go Busters a lot, I was
Hmm.
more than okay with the job with
Yeah.
how it was done.
Because like it meant that they got to continue this story
Yeah,
arc and like get it to like a really satisfying
it
place.
also was just really funny.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger with the Super Shinken Red
Yeah,
transformation and
and
the
then like
Orca
Rikio
Blaster.
betraying, and then we got like
Mhm.
basically a whole bunch of battles, and then like fire candles going like berserk, and the Tegajun was able to summon Juzo from
Yeah,
Shinkender's
which
past.
made me do the soy jack point at
Yeah,
my screen when it happened. I was like,
yeah.
"It's a guy from the
We saw a
show."
little bit of it. Like there was like a brief like 1 second in the preview, and
Mhm.
I showed my friends, and they were like soy jacking out. It was
Yeah.
great. Uh, but that's like a fun little just like, hey, why not? Like for
Yeah,
the
because they've done like tribute. They've done like, oh, this monster villain is kind of like one of the villains from the
yeah,
show. Like they did that
just bring out the full
with
suit at that point. Yeah,
Roki in
Gal
the
Ranger.
Gal Ranger one, where it's like, okay, this monster is kind of like Roki, but it's not exactly him. Um, whereas like this time it's like, oh no, they just got him. They got Juzo. They brought him out. And it's cool that
Yeah,
they went with him instead of Dokoku because I feel like he's
isn't Jozu more like well respected, like at least both in show and out of show? Like,
well. I was gonna say mostly because his position as like a rival to the Red Ranger. He's like a very
yeah,
specific rival, not like a big final boss guy. So like I feel like sometimes those things cross over, like in TokuTalkers, Emperor Zed he's like a rival to the Red Ranger, but he's also the final bad guy.
yeah,
But in this case, it's just like, oh, Dokoku, he was more of a in the background, getting drunk off his ass in the villain base, and then came towards the end, started like taking the stage and everything. Whereas like Juzo, he was just there fighting them, and it fit with a parallel with Fire Candle being like such a battle hungry, devoted rival for the Red Ranger.
yeah.
So I feel like it was like, oh, that was a great choice to bring a villain back. That is obviously not the same character. He's just like
He's just like a
a suit.
clone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has no personality or voice or anything. So it's not as cool as it could have been, but I
it's
feel
basically a
like
stage show, like
yeah.
return.
Yeah. But I feel like if they did characterize him too much, it would have taken away from Fire Candle.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't have wanted that because I think that this arc for him, I already loved him as a character, but I absolutely love this whole arc for him and where it takes him.
yeah. Uh, God, there's so many things because they got Rikio like little like arc. Like
Mm,
you got like Tono finally getting the getting the Orca booster out of in control. Like and
yeah.
like I
Hmm.
kind of like the idea. It's like, oh, he's the savage wolf of the land and he's controlling the savage wolf of the sea. That's pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Hmm.
Um,
How do you feel about the new form?
Oh, the new form's sick. I like it.
Mm,
I kind of missing like. I think with Sentai, I prefer like team power. I do like these single like red gets gold shit. Like I like
hmm.
it in King Oger. But I kind of miss like the Boom Booger like champion jackets or the Kira Major like armor pieces where it's
Yeah,
like
I feel like they
everyone
kind of
gets a
alternate every so often with that, where
yeah.
like you said, Bubuncher just did that, and then before that, like King Archer, once
Yeah.
they got
And
the
like I could see them like going back and like because Boom Booger did the same thing where it's like the red got an armored form and then they gave everyone jackets.
oh
I
yeah,
could see them,
yeah,
especially with the initial premise being each ranger's as strong as a common rider. Like that's just how the show
yeah,
was conceived. Like that's still in my head, and I was like,
mm,
man, like wouldn't it be cool if maybe not individual power ups, but everyone gets like a power up of some kind.
yeah.
So
I remember this is kind of a tangent, but I remember back when Kamen Rider Gaim was airing, and the idea is supposed to be like, oh, here's these people in like this roughly equivalent war with one another, to like win this game. And then I remember being like, well, Gaim keeps getting better forms than everybody else. So like he's like, by the time that he gets the Kachidoki arms, which is his like mid-season
Yeah, the
power up,
flags.
yeah, I was like, he seems to be like way more powerful than everybody now. So that's, and obviously that's when the show transitions away from like rider versus rider conflict to the dealing with the overlords and everything. But it's just like funny that sometimes like the premise of a show and then the marketing of a show are sort of like incongruous with each other, where it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, these people are fighting in this war, and it's a power
Yeah.
struggle, and every week we don't know who could win this battle, but because they had to sell toys about the main character, he gets all the cool power-ups, so
Yeah,
he
no,
just
which is
ends up like
it's
outpacing
fair.
them.
That's fair. I just like sometimes my brain is just so like hard focused on like just like random ideas I hear in interviews, and I'm like
Mm.
I forget that like, oh yeah, they have to pivot to like the traditional stuff eventually.
Yeah, it's very similar with Gosuger, where it's like oh yeah, it's supposed to be. I think there's still the opportunity for other people to use that Orca gun,
Yeah,
but it obviously it's a red gun, so it
yeah. So
probably will just be for the Red Ranger. But his form does look pretty cool.
yeah,
And his
I think the
finisher
gold
attack that
accents
he
like
does.
it works real well, and I do like how
Mhm.
this form did this new power up debut like is not just advancing Red's story, like it's also like basically like advancing Blue's with like how like Red basically tames the power and gives like Blue a speech being like, hey,
Mhm.
I didn't always like you, but you do have redeeming traits. Like,
Yeah,
and it would be a
exactly.
shame to see those redeeming traits of like, yeah, what do you want? What not what you, yeah, like it that
Yeah, I like
I
that,
like
and
I
there's
like
still a
those
lot of
like
mystery
speeches.
to his story, as
Yeah,
in like what's the full extent of what's going on with him. So I like that we get to learn a little bit more. We're starting to take him more seriously as a character. He's not just a comic relief character, but there's still a lot to go. Like we're,
yeah,
and his friend, he's a weird, creepy guy, and he's got something going on with the
yeah.
ring
He's got like an
at the end of the
infinity ring.
episode.
It's like, what the
Yeah.
hell does that mean? Like
Yeah, and he says
infinity?
some cryptic thing. Um,
Like
but
I don't know if they're just hiding what his actual Sentai ring is, or if they're just being like, oh, he's
mm,
gonna have like a whole new form. He's gonna be like freaking,
yeah.
I don't know, like a boat, like kind of freaking what's his name, Garudo, who we haven't seen in a bit.
Yeah,
But
it's been a few. I was thinking about that too because I was like, oh, I've been focusing on this weird guy, this weird older guy. We haven't focused on the other like weird guy who has a relationship with one of the main rangers. So,
yeah, which like
um,
it seems like from next episode's preview, we're not gonna get that for a bit, which I don't mind. Like
yeah, it's
I
totally
think
fine.
especially out of all the tokus, I think Sentai's like you could kind of like categorize, like you could kind of, it's the one of the only tokus, or not one of the only, but just like it's the toku where you can get away with just here's a plot point, save it for later, because
Yeah.
that's how like
Hmm.
I don't know, because of the episodic nature of like there's just like it's I don't know. I feel like Sentai pacing is kind of like interesting to talk about because it's like it's still very much an episodic show. Like that was
Yeah.
especially with how like it's basically run continuously. There's not really
Mm,
like there's kind of like rules to it that's like have kind of stick. Like some of the rules have been broken, of course, but it's like I feel
yeah.
like there's still a lot of traditions they hold on to. Like
Even
I know
the
like people,
most boundary pushing shows still have a formula to them. Like, still have a pretty
yeah,
similar. Like, even Don Brothers has like a pretty
yeah.
similar structure to most Sentai shows. Even
Yeah,
if it
it's
like,
just what you see in the episodes is groundbreaking, I'd say.
yeah, and like same thing with GoZuger. Like GoZuger is a little bit more like safe than Don Brothers is, but it has some of
Mm.
that energy. Still, it feels kind of like a mix of Don Brothers and Zenkaiger.
Yeah, and
To
I
me,
like
like,
that. Like I like, and like I know it's like some people were expecting, like especially with the battle royale premise, like complete anarchy this
mhm,
season, and it's like some people were like a bit disappointed. It's like, oh, they're not really like fighting each other a lot. Well, one, this episode has them fighting a bit, where it's especially
mm,
like with Rikyo's line, "We used to be enemies," or like
yeah.
we started out as enemies. It's like we should be fighting, or it's like, but I kind of
Mm.
like how it's like fighting, but it's like kind of walking this line between tradition and like new. It's like especially
Yeah.
for an anniversary season, that's very fitting.
But I want to talk about the best part of the episode,
What is it?
which is Fire Candle.
Oh yeah, Fire Candle. Oh,
So
yeah, sorry,
yeah.
keep talking about everyone else except Fire Candle. I know you love Fire Candle. Okay, what do you like about
Yeah.
it?
Well, I was just saying that, like, because we've talked about a lot of the episode, that we can just like get to the conclusion of the episode,
Oh yeah,
which is like, in my opinion, like the thing that really sells the episode. Like, it goes from, like, pretty good episode to like one of the best. Is like, first of all, amazing mecha fight. Very
yeah,
rare for me to praise a mecha fight in a Sentai, just because I'm usually so bored by them. But really, really good
yeah. Really good
in
mecha
this.
debut for this.
Hmm.
It's called the Tegasword Akatsuki.
Yes, which is Red Moon, or the, like, if you know Naruto, you know what the Akatsuki are. So if that's that word. But the to me, like, the thread throughout the whole episode, and like for the past couple episodes of, like, their the other people who work for Tega June, like all of the bad guys, being like kind of worried for Fire Candle because he's crashing out pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
um I love that. Because I love when villains are like duplicitous and like, fuck this guy, whatever. Like, they're just like out for themselves. Like, that is usually the most entertaining. But I love even more so when they're like really close friends, and like, or they like slowly grow to become friends with one another, rather than just like coworkers, or you know whatever, just like generic bad guys that are like, now that that guy's dead, I'm now the bad guy, which can happen in Sentai a lot. So just like dynamic character interactions with the villains, to me, like getting like a peek into their head, like that's what's important, more so than like if they like each other or hate each other. So I just love all that stuff. Like, especially like specifically how worried Bouquet was for Fire Candle. I found like very interesting, and I was really worried. I said last episode I was really worried that he was gonna die. Then he was just going to be like, oh man, they're just gonna kill him off,
Yeah, guys,
because
like that halfway point.
yeah, because they've done that before with like characters that I really loved. Like, though they kind of like half did it in TokuTalkers, where like Greta dies at the halfway point, but then is still an important character throughout the whole show because she's like inside of Emperor's Head, so she's like talking to him during that whole point, and then eventually she's able to like get out, and she's like the only person who survives in the shadow line. So, you know, like, she actually gets like the best ending out of all of them. But yeah, I just like, how'd you feel about that?
Yeah,
Like
like
the
I especially like the end where it's like Fire Candle like and Bouquet kind of like Fire Candle's still alive, and then
mhm.
like Bouquet's kind of like she's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're still alive, and then it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, you can hit
Yeah,
me,
no,
and
I
it's
was
like,
yeah, that was what I'm talking about. Like, I actually was crying during that.
yeah,
Like,
that shit,
actually made me tear up during that scene, just her like
like
sense
yeah,
of relief and like love for him, not romantic, just
yeah,
the
just
general
like
platonic
empathy,
love for,
just
yeah,
general
exactly,
empathy
like,
for your fellow man and for your
yeah.
coworker.
So
Yeah,
it
it was
just
real cute. It
it
was
was
like,
it was awesome. Like, I just am so glad that the show was able to like take that step and do that, and like make me, I already really liked these guys, but now
yeah.
I feel like I love them. Like, I feel like I'm really rooting for them and rooting for the best. And even like Shining Knife and Sweet Cake, like, they even
I think they
had
have a
like
high
some,
chance of redemption, like because Zentai does this
yeah.
a lot, especially if they're human villains. Like if they're like, I
I
mean,
think it's like Car Ranger. That's what I was
yeah,
gonna say. Like, even if they are like self-serving dicks that maybe they get on each other's nerves, maybe they, whatever. Like, they eventually get to the point where they're like, look, this person that's controlling us is way worse. We just want to get rid of them. So let's just work
yeah,
with the good guys and
yeah,
try to get, like, screw this person over. So
yeah. It's gonna
uh
be. I'm very interested to see like where they go from here.
yeah, especially because, like, well, I don't think Tega June herself is like, she's like a robot weird overlord thing. So it's
Yeah,
hard to put a lot of moral judgment on her, but like other people that are antagonists, uh, like Kuon is
Yeah.
like really bad guy. He's going down a bad path.
He's
He
crossed a
has
lot of lines.
yeah, the way that he acts and everything is not like he seems like he's from a much more dark and twisted side of villainy than what the
Right.
other
Just kind of like more goofy villain that we see that, but
yes.
that's why it's kind of like interesting to see like Fire Candle go down this like berserker path. Also, we didn't even talk about the new Shinken Red suit they made.
Yeah, well, I
Where
know you
it's
talked
like a
about it
fight.
last episode, so that's
Yeah, yeah.
why.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's right. It's a good suit. That's all I gotta say. It's
Yeah.
like it's
We
another
joked
rider
that it
mode,
looked like the samurai like Shogun
Shogun mode. Yeah,
suit from Power Rangers Samurai,
yeah.
but
It's a good suit. Just wanna yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
no,
23.
I think that's it. Like I said, I love that episode.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see more of like where the whole prequel
yeah.
plot is going.
Although it seems like next episode we're gonna do a little like a one-off arc or a couple like
Which
two-part
I'm
arc.
very happy about because I do like Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger quite a
Yeah,
bit. So
I'm very interested. Yeah, I was actually just talking to some friends, being like, "Hey, when are they gonna do Lupat? I wonder like because
yeah,
it's like they're gonna do
mhm.
something with Lupat because that's the entire reason we're doing the 50th anniversary right now. 'Cause-
Yeah.
yeah, because of like it's like 50 years, 50 teams, and Lupat is technically 2-1, so it's like
Mhm.
it's about time.
Yeah.
We get a Lupat today. We're finally getting the Lupat episode next week. But before that, before we end this episode and you watch the next one, or you wait a week for the next one, whatever, however you're
Sure.
watching this
Yeah.
video, we got some Zets news. First, he debuted in the Kamen Rider Gav movie. Cam rips of
Mhm.
his cameo are online. We
Yep.
also
I
have a
watched it.
confirmed actor. Wait, did you watch it or?
Yeah, I saw the camera, like the scene of his transformation, his fight. I've seen.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I saw it too. It was pretty
yeah,
interesting. I
not the
don't want to say
movie, not the movie. I have no intention to ever watch any Kamen Rider movie
yeah,
for the most
unless
part.
there's like camera movies are weird for me because I'm like unless I'm forced to do it for like a podcast or unless it's just like there's a premise that's interesting to me or if I just
Yeah,
really like the show, it's like yeah, like
I'm.
yeah, I don't really like want to watch
Yeah,
like most V cinemas or movies like unless it's like
yeah.
something
Even
there's a
something I
hook
love
to it.
like X-Aid. Like I have not really gone out of my way to watch the post series, like all the crazy stuff with the different, like
Yeah, the outsiders.
well, yeah, outsiders, but like just the stuff that was when X-Aid was coming out, like
Yeah,
the Kuroto getting his like maximum mighty X form and all that stuff.
yeah.
Uh, I just didn't pay attention to that really. And like you mentioned outsiders, like I've to me, like I felt like the weird cross promo stuff that they did like halfway through Gotchard was very weird. Like it felt like it just brought the story to a
Yeah,
screeching
like even
halt.
people who were like who were liking Gotchard like more than you, like weren't even like on board
Yeah.
of it. Like
Yeah, and I'm glad that Gav at least put it in a recap episode, so I
yeah,
wasn't annoyed that it was like, oh, why is this guy in the show like messing things up? But
yeah. But
you
we
know,
got some announcements of like who's working on the show, except the writer. But I think based
hmm
on rumors, we can guess who the writer is. But they haven't.
hmm
That August 7th is when the press conference is happening, so we'll have more to talk about on that week.
yeah.
First off, surprisingly for composers, Go Sakabe, who's been doing the Gavsode soundtrack, is also coming back
Oh, cool.
for this show. Um,
hmm
to give a list of his credits, he's done Kyoryuger, TokuTalkers, Ghost, Zero One, King Oger, Gav, and now Zets. But he's not alone with composing, as Hiroshi Taki. Trying to get his name right. Hiroshi
Right.
Taki. Another
Hold
guy who
on.
worked on the freaking Gotchard soundtrack is
Right.
co-composing with it. I'm sorry, look it up.
Yeah.
My voice is not working. He also did the Abba Ranger and Pat Ranger, Lupin versus Pat soundtracks.
hmm
So he's been working around Toei for a while. So like, but the two like it's kind of interesting, like because I don't think we've gotten like a composer back to back like this in a bit for Kamen Rider.
Is
Because
it
usually it's like
Hiroshi Takaki? Is that
Takaki,
who
yeah.
you're?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm. Yeah, we haven't like, and it's like Gosakabe, like he already worked on Gav, so it's like interesting. He's already working on the next show. So,
Yeah.
uh, and then yeah, as like one of the rumors said, Kazuya Kamurocho, who directed some of the best episodes of Kamen Rider Build and head directed Real Soldier and King Oger, is
Hmm.
being the head director for Zets. I
Hmm.
think
Yeah.
this is his first head director for
Yeah.
Kamen Rider. Yeah, this is his first head director for Kamen Rider. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been, I think, all the way back since X-Aid. I've been a big Kami Horiyuchi head, because he did some pretty amazing
Yeah, he did the
episodes,
Kronos debut and he did the Parad, like Ebu pushing Parad into
getting
the ocean
killed,
episode.
like brutally murdering him. With the imagery of like drowning him, and very intense episodes for such a relatively lighthearted show as X8. Though they obviously got like pretty dramatic towards the end. But like, yeah, Build for me is definitely when he really like came into prominence. Like the
Yeah.
Black Hazard
The Black
debut.
Hazard episode, he did Grease Blizzard
Uh-huh.
episode.
Uh-huh. Just super good. Yeah, and then like big problem with King Oger, which I love, is that it's mostly green screen. So there's
Yeah.
not a lot. It's hard to really get a
There
feel
is
for
like
like,
interesting things they do with the cinematography, I think, but it's like it's
yeah.
kind of limited by like even though they try to do a lot of crazier like anime shit, it's kind of
Mhm.
limited by the green screen. Oddly enough,
Yeah. So I think that if this show is going to be like really leaning into the special effects and really leaning into these like high
yeah,
concept stuff, similar, because he does like the Inception, like unfolding the city onto itself attack
yeah,
in
the
the
Gav preview.
movie. That's like, okay, if you're gonna be maybe not doing that stuff all the time, but if you're gonna be dabbling with that kind of stuff, then yeah, it makes sense that
Yeah, and we already actually saw some fight footage, because they released some YouTube shorts that like have like
mm,
brief like of each form like where it's like a little brief snippets of like actual fights you'll see in the show with like finished special effects and shit. And
yeah.
it's like there's varying locations. There's outside, there's forests, there's buildings. So it's like it's not green screen. There's no green screen
Mhm.
like fight. So it's just a traditional Kamen Rider shooting location.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I am very excited to see what Kamurocho did. Although, as I said previously, the rumor was previously I heard was Kamurocho on directing, Takahashi on writing. I
Hmm.
am not opening social media for a while when that gets revealed. If Takahashi is writing this, I'm not opening social
Yeah.
media for a while. I
Oh,
do not want to
do
hear
you know, could
the
you,
crash out.
yeah, we don't need to get into drama,
Yeah,
but do you like, because I really
I
don't
like him. I
care.
like him. I like
I
him.
don't care to look into the Kamen Rider fandom at this point in my life, and like
Yeah,
what they're, because sometimes like I remember like earlier this year people complaining, like being like Shotsuka should be a fucking writer or whatever, and I'm just like,
I
okay.
barely saw that shit. So it's like I don't look like
but
I'm not on Twitter
but like,
anymore. Part of the reason I deleted Twitter besides the Nazi shit was just to avoid those types.
yeah. So I wanted to ask like what exactly is people's issue with
I think
Yuya
just people
Takahashi?
really didn't like. They think he's too. It's kind of weird because I think people just really weren't happy with the last arc of Geats, or they just think he's being used too much, like new gen Toshiki Inoue, because Toshiki Inoue was used a lot in the Heisei Phase One era,
I
and they just
do,
kind of want something new.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like the not to get into this whole like whatever show is better or worse or anything, but like Geats, I kind of agree that the final arc is a little bit messy. There's some stuff that I really like in it, but overall, like I think the ending is kind of weak. Whereas like 01 that had a really messy final arc, but it's not really his fault because of COVID and everything. But I
Yeah,
thought the ending of the arc was actually really good. So I thought
yeah,
that the way that 01 ended in like the final couple episodes,
and it's like
uh
it seems like there's gonna be less of like production. I mean, they have the Gav like we're recording like 20 episodes before the show even airs thing, so it's
mm,
like it seems like there's gonna be like with I don't know like because they had to play it close to the chest with Geats and 01, and then
yeah.
01 had the whole COVID shit.
Yeah. I feel like it's to me, like if I have any problem with Yu Takahashi, it's just that he's been overused over the
Yeah,
course
and
of
I
like the
I
past
get like the
decade.
overused thing, but it's like,
Um,
hey, I think he could still do some interesting stuff. And I think he is open. Like if Geats is any indication, he's open to learning from his mistakes.
yeah,
So
I think Geats definitely like improved upon a lot in X8 and Zero
Yeah,
One. So and I love X8. Obviously, it's probably like still my number one favorite Kamen Rider show. But it obviously
respect.
is very flawed show. But I
I mean,
think that that's part of why
every
I
show,
love it.
I also just kind of want every Kamen Rider show has like major flaws. It just depends. Like, do you like
Yeah,
the good stuff the better?
exactly. That's how I felt with like Gav, where like I've seen like I have flaws or I have problems with like the second arc of Gav with the bitter Gav stuff, but
Yeah,
there's still a lot of great story in that.
yeah,
So
and that's
I'm
kind of how
able
I feel
to
of Zero One. Like, I know I'm not like
yeah.
Zero One's
Oh,
kind of
the
like
yeah, the Thouser stuff like in the middle. You're like,
I
yeah,
like that
you
stuff.
can see the good in it, whereas like other people are like, they look at it negatively or they nitpick it
Yeah,
or
it's a whole
whatever.
thing, but like
Um,
I'm personally okay with this. I do agree about the overuse, but if it has to happen, I've accepted it. You know,
yeah, absolutely. I'm not gonna say that the show is doomed on arrival because of
just
that.
one
Like
writer. It's
I
like
remember people felt similarly with like, oh, Junko Kimura. What did she do? She did whatever. Like
3 Sentais. Yeah,
yeah, like people were like, I don't know, how is she gonna be in comedy? She did like this pre-cure show, and I'm like, that was a pretty good show. So I don't know. I had faith in her, and
yeah.
she has delivered. So there you go. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how Zets turns out. I think it's still not like to the point where I'm like really hyped for it to come out because I think we need to get a little bit closer to the show
It's
coming
also just
out.
Gav's just been really good. That's just like
Yeah, Gav's been really good. I think with Gav, it took me until like the first story trailer, for me to get like, oh, I'm really
yeah, and we're
hyped
getting
to
that
see
on
it.
August 7th around that. So when is August
Yeah,
7th? Let me
so
check. Oh God, I dropped a vital.
yeah,
That is in a couple weeks. So not the next week, but the week after.
yeah,
This episode, like basically the episode after next
yeah,
episode, is gonna
hmm
be like the time we're gonna get like full details on Zets. They're kind of like been building up to it, with all these teasers and shorts and like promo. So we'll see how Zets turns
um,
out. We'll talk about it. We'll definitely talk about it
yeah,
on the show. Um,
hmm
but yeah, oh man, I think that was a long tangent on just the Zets
yeah, yeah,
news.
yeah. But that's
But
good.
so
We're basically getting ourselves prepared to incorporate Zets fully into the show. So
yeah,
yeah. So our
uh,
show has like doubled in length from when we were just talking about GoZyuger. So
bro, how times have changed. And hey, but if you want to see some other how times have been changing for all of us, you can go check out our stuff. Wyatt, plug your stuff.
yeah, Twitter and Bluesky at Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger. Actually, don't really use Twitter that much anymore. But there's a lot of times I go in there and I just get mad at the things that I see, and then I have to leave Twitter. So just Blue Sky, Wasp Ranger, WAZP Ranger, mostly stream of consciousness stuff, but I do post about videos I'm making and podcasts I'm doing. Um, I'm not really in the middle of making a video at this point, but of course, cartoon buffoons, that's my main squeeze. So check that out on my channel. It's only magic. Last episode that came out was the pilot one on the YouTube channel, and then on the Patreon, you can go and check out the Venture Bros episode right now if you have $3. And we're doing a whole month of Adult Swim stuff. The other shows that we're talking about are Joe Pera Talks with You, Common Side Effects, and Home Movies. So those are the other three besides Venture
All good
Bros.
shows. All good
Yeah,
shows.
very, very good. We want to do like ones from like the different eras of Adult Swim. So like Home Movies is very early on in Adult Swim. Venture Bros is like still pretty early, but it lasted throughout the life, until like 2018 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Joe Pera, that was like 2018 to 2021, and then Common Side Effects just came out. So
Yeah,
yeah,
very
it was
excited
a,
to
it was a
listen to
nice
those
little grab.
episodes.
Yeah, we had a really good conversation about Common Side Effects and Joe Pera. I think we were like on the verge of tears through half of the Joe Pera episode just because they're like, it's so good, it feels so good. But yeah, check that out. If you only got $1, that's fine. You get Wow Cool Robot, which is me and my friend Wayne going through every single robot in existence. It's a good time. Buster, where can we find you on this internet?
Hey, I'm Buster Corp. I do too many videos on too many things on my Buster Corp channel. I'm also at Blue Sky, yapping about whatever. Sometimes RPGs, sometimes tokusatsu, sometimes video games. Ooh, I mean, video games and RPGs are the same thing, but it's like you get what I mean. I'm yapping about my interests on Blue Sky and also complaining sometimes. I know people are weird on
Sounds
Blue
good.
Sky, but like people are weird on all social media, so don't
That's
worry
true.
about it.
Yeah, people are really stupid on both Twitter and Blue Sky, but I feel like on Blue Sky they feel like they're a little bit smarter than they are, which is a
Yeah.
problem. So
It's a whole
that
thing. It's a
yeah.
whole thing. It's like pick your poison, and honestly,
Uh-huh.
the Blue Sky poison is easier to swallow than the Twitter poison. Anyway,
Yes, there's
uh,
not a lot of like you said, there's not a lot of weird Nazi shit on Blue Sky, so there you go.
yeah. But anyway, and then you could, hey, if you're watching this on YouTube, hi, welcome to Modular Media. This is me and a bunch of other people's co-op podcast channel where we post about a lot of podcasts. We got a lot of fun podcasts. We do like a weekly talk about whatever modular components show. And then we have a monthly one person picks a thing, we watch it, and then Analytical Fanboys. This week is Record of Lotus War. So that's gonna be interesting because this is my first time watching that show, so we'll find out what I think of it.
Did you ever play the Metroidvania game based on it?
I did not know that existed. I guess that's something to
Okay.
add to the list.
Well, the Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth, or yeah, I think that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Really good game. If you like Symphony of the Night, then
I still need to play Symphony of the Night.
Okay, we'll play Symphony of the Night first, and then play Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth.
Yeah, thanks for the recommendations. And I think that's going to do it for this episode of TokuTalkers. We'll see you next week for GoZyuger episode 24 and Ultraman Omega episode 5.
Peace.